Hi friends, welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. My name is JP and this is Junodrome Intuitive Arts. So today we have a Pick a Card reading giving you messages from the stones. Yes, so I collected a lot of Serpentine and Jadeite in a river in Taiwan. I brought them back home with me and we're going to get some messages from them. So these are going to be super open messages. I have no idea what to expect. So take a look down below in the description section for your pile. In a moment, I'm going to show you the different piles to choose from. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. Once again, pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. If you need a little bit of extra time, go ahead and take a look at the end of this video. In the description section, click on the card selection at the end of the video if you want more time. Otherwise, we're going to jump right into the readings now. I will see you in your reading. Enjoy. Bye. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose the reading with this stone here. This is, I believe that this one, hold on, let me take a look closer. I believe this one is actually Jadeite. So you got this Jadeite. It might be Serpentine. It's close. But we want to know, what are the messages from this stone? What does this stone want you to know? What does the river spirits of Taiwan want you to know? And this stone, the earth spirits as well. Let's find out. So you have the 5 of Pentacles, which is the Dark Night of the Soul card. So if you are feeling as though you are in a dark night of the soul, I'm here for you, right? I feel that. I've been here before. So let me explain that for those of you who don't know. Dark Night of the Soul refers to kind of the lowest period you can fall in a lifetime. It's like rock bottom, but it's like a spiritual rock bottom where you feel so destitute here. If you look at these two people, they're lost in the snow, poor people with no help. If you think about like 1890s London, right? People abandoned on the street. And what's interesting about this card, though, is that they're standing in front of this church, and so there's a sense that there's spiritual wisdom here for these people that can change their situation. And we don't necessarily have to take a Christian look at this, but we can take a spiritual look at it, right? That sometimes in our darkest moments, we have a catalytic change that can open up kind of this intense transformation of understanding of reality on a deeper level than we could have ever seen before. It's almost like sometimes by hitting the bottom of your own spiritual decline, you have this incredible aha moment where you can see things from a much, much grander perspective. So if you are feeling very low right now, understand that, first of all, even with this kind of transformation idea, I'm not saying that suffering is worth it or that there's a silver lining in feeling pain. Although, I mean, I'm kind of saying that, but I don't mean in the sense that we can undermine the fact that terrible things are terrible, right? I think that that's important to remember first and foremost. If you're in a situation that you feel that you're suffering, either spiritually, physically, situationally, in any way, my heart is with you. I don't want any of us to suffer, and I wish that we could have a reality where we suffered less. One of the teachings in Buddhism is that suffering exists. That's one of the things that you have to remember, one of the tenets, that suffering is here. We cannot keep a blind eye to suffering. We cannot pretend that it doesn't exist. So particularly if you reach one of these moments, one of the most important things that you can do for yourself is to be present with yourself, to be where you are, meet yourself where you are. If you are not in a good place, the first step is to acknowledge that you are not in a good place and to understand that, right? So first things first, if you feel like you're not in a good place right now, seek help. Tarot readings are not particularly my readings. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't give you 100% advice on that. But I can say, if you feel like you need help, go get help, right? Help is available to you. Even if you don't have money, right? And you need help in some other way, there are people out there. So look in your community for resources, first of all, if there's any kind of that kind of situation going on. Now, as we move forward here, we have temperance and we have the ultimate happiness card. So that's a real roller coaster. So I still mean what I say. If you feel like you're suffering, that's crappy, right? That's not great. It sucks. And there's nothing great about that. So acknowledge that. Be with yourself in that. Feel what you need to feel through that. Now, there is an aspect of your situation, though, that is transformative with these kind of alchemical situations here. And I really am being brought back to the sense of the spiritual with the mountain sun, connecting into the spiritual center that is within all of us, the heart center, the center of loving kindness at the bottom of all beings, all sentient beings, right? There's this sort of loving kindness awareness field. You don't necessarily have to believe that. I do, though. That's also part of Buddhism. Not that you need to know that. But deep in the heart of all beings is this centered core of unbridled, unfiltered loving kindness. And that exists within all of us, regardless of our situations, regardless of what's happening around us, regardless of what anyone else can do to you or put on you. That indestructible fire of loving kindness and awareness exists within you. And that is something that you can tune into at any moment. And sometimes these difficult situations can awaken us to that understanding. Not saying, that you even need to go through that to have that kind of awakening or understanding, right? You don't have to go through difficult situations to experience that. But sometimes those difficult situations can jog a center within us that we didn't even know we had, and can build upon us a strength that we had no idea existed. And this isn't necessarily something that's going to happen overnight. And I think it's really important to remember, particularly when you're in these kind of situations, they don't resolve overnight. But even at your lowest moments, you can rebuild within, because there is this spiritual core that exists within you. It exists within all beings, with all people. You have it. We all have it. It's there. This strength is within you, and you can tune into it to help alleviate the situation. And, sometimes with angels here, you don't have to believe in angels. You don't have to believe in spirit guides. You don't have to believe in any of that stuff. But sometimes having that spiritual friend out there can also help alleviate a sense of destruction within. Does that make sense? That sometimes that can help as well. So maybe this is an opportunity for you to develop some kind of relationship with a spirit guide or with an angel or with a whatever. You don't have to believe in any of that. But if you want to, that might give you some extra help as well. That maybe there is some kind of spirit trying to reach you and help you alleviate some of this difficulty as well. That they can take some of these burdens from you, in a sense, even if it's taking it from your spiritual body, right? So a human being exists with a physical body, but we have an emotional body, we have a mental body, we have a spiritual body. Potentially, they don't have to be real. They can be metaphors to help understand the self like an onion. And there are ways of alleviating pressures within the inner landscape that this kind of metaphor can help. Even if you want to think of it like a placebo effect, even a placebo effect is helpful in alleviating pain by triggering the human being's natural healing that exists within us. I'm not saying don't go to medicine, right? By natural healing, I don't mean like don't listen to a doctor, right? But putting that out there, I think that's important to remember. Listen to your doctors, friends. I am not a doctor. However, there's a sense here that by connecting to this deeper spiritual center, there's something about the inner landscape within you that can be helped and comforted and alleviated by tapping into a spiritual center and asking that spiritual center to assist you in clearing some of this pain from you, and asking that spiritual center to give you an understanding of things that's bigger and deeper than what you currently know or understand. Because a lot of times these deep, dark places that we reach within can be very isolating, very we can feel very lonely in them, and we can feel all alone, like it's just us that exists. And that can be self-destructive, that understanding of things, because it's not true. You don't exist alone. I'm thinking of Kamala Harris. Oh my gosh. Okay. Did you think that you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist within the confines of all the things that exist around you, right? Whatever she said. I don't know why that's coming to me right now, but it's the truth, right? You don't exist alone. It's not just you against the world. You are the world. You're here with everybody else. You didn't come from nothing. You were born on this planet in a community, in a place with other people, with not just one other person too, with 8 billion other people on this planet right now. So you're not alone, even with people. But even in the spiritual sense, you're not alone either. However, that is up to you to conceive of how you wish to conceive of that. But there's more. There's more. And this dark night of the soul moment can be an amazing catalyst to shift from I am alone and there is nothing and no one out there for me ever to wow, I exist on a grand landscape with so many others. And those others can help me, right? Look at this ultimate happiness. This is a family here. This isn't just one person. This is a whole family, and it doesn't have to be your family. Particularly if some of this stuff is coming from your physical family, right? We can have chosen family on this earth as well. And we can have spirit family on this earth and beyond. And we can have whatever kind of family, right? You're not just in the system that you were born in. If you need to find something new for yourself, that exists as well out there. And it's possible to find that. We have so many other cards. I got to keep going. So if you need to go off alone and do your own thing and disconnect from any kind of system or person or thing that is bringing you down, that is not what you need for yourself, you are being encouraged to do that with this 9 of Pentacles. Excuse me. You are being encouraged to go off on your own. Excuse me. Throat chakra stuff too. You're being encouraged to speak your own truth. You got to go out and do your own thing. And if that goes against what other people want from you, so be it. And that is a tough thing when you're in the place, when you're on the side, when you're in the place for the very first time of breaking with community or family or any kind of thing, relationship, whatever, you're breaking with the thing that you think you're supposed to do, but you know in your heart there's something else. That first moment of breaking is the hardest. It is the hardest to break from that. But once you do it, it gets easier. Once you make that shift, it gets easier. And I'm not telling you to abandon your family. I'm not telling you to throw away all of your relationships. I'm not saying that at all. You do not need to do that. But you can create space away from others and give other people less influence on your inner landscape, right? Your life is yours. And yes, you can still have family that you don't agree with and continue to have your own thing. And honestly, the people who are really important for you in your life, they will see. If you break off and you start doing your own thing, yeah, they might get mad at you at first. And I don't know, your family is yours. I don't know your situation. But a lot of times, those who really love you, when you break away, even if they don't agree with you, once they start seeing you happy, that's what they really want. They want you to be happy. So when they see you happy, that happiness, even if they don't tell you, seeing you happy will do something inside of them and make them soften at least inside. And who knows, your family's yours. But a lot of times that can happen. So if you're feeling really stuck and bound to an identity that you don't believe in a life that you don't believe in a situation that you don't believe in, and you feel stuck, you can turn that around with the Wheel of Fortune. You can. You don't have to stay in that. And that doesn't mean, sometimes when we feel really stuck, I think that that's where sometimes suicidal tendencies can come from. And obviously, if you feel like, if you're on that level, right, obviously seek out help. Please seek out help. Like, don't suffer in that alone. It's really important to remember that. Like, there is help out there for you. Go find it. I am not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I can't give you that kind of advice. But that kind of advice is out there. So please find it if you need it, right? But it's important to remember that you can change the physical things in your life before ending the life altogether, right? Because think about it. Like, if you're so scared of changing the physical things that you just want to end it all, and I'm not saying you're doing that. This is a general reading. I'm just taking it to the extreme here. I'm taking it to the extreme. How is that different from ending the circumstances in your life that are keeping you bound, right? There is another way. And that's really important to remember. With the Temperance card, there's always another way. There's always another way forward. There's always another way to shift things. It's going to take seeing it differently, though. And that's the biggest, most important thing, is to change your mind about the situation, to come to another perspective. Now, when you were a child, you had open curiosity, because we all do. In childhood, we do not have the kind of judgment about life that we have as adults. We don't know what's happening. And we don't think, oh, this is impossible. We don't think this is the only way things are. We're curious. We think, what is out there? And so you are being encouraged to take a curious perspective on life again, to enjoy that childlike wonder of the world, because that is what keeps you young. It what keeps you fresh, and it's what keeps you feeling that there's open possibility in life, because there is. That childlike curiosity is a magical tool that can help you alleviate this feeling that there is nothing left for you, because that's not the truth. There is so much left on this world for you. There are so many opportunities left for you. There's so many possibilities left for you. There's so much. You have infinite ability to do anything, and that is something you need to remember, because it is the truth. Now, with the High Priestess, you are being encouraged to tap within to your intuition, and I think that maybe you have not heard your intuition in a long time, potentially. Take it as it resonates. But once you go within and start to understand things on a deeper level, you'll get a bigger picture. And it might come from this place of needing to transform your emotional landscape as well. That there needs to be a change in the way that you relate to your emotional being. You need to let yourself feel what you need to feel. A lot of times, if you're feeling depressed, and I'm feeling depression from this reading, depression is a numbness, and it's a numbness to the inner state. It is a not wanting to face and see the inner state. Now, I'm not a psychologist. That's my own interpretation. See a therapist if you have depression. I am not a therapist. Once again, have to say that. However, a lot of times, what I found for myself when I had depression, I'm just speaking from personal experience, from my own depression, my depression came from a place of not wanting to face my emotions. Every time a challenging emotion came up in my being, if I went through difficult situations, I didn't want to face it. I blocked it. And this is subconscious. This isn't a conscious thing. Like, I am going to block this emotion. No, we do it because it's a defense mechanism we learn as children. So I'm not saying, don't beat yourself up if this is your process, right? This is just a very natural thing to develop as a child. If you go through something difficult as a child, it's just a very natural process. Once again, I'm not a psychologist. However, you have the opportunity here to alleviate that by facing those things. Now, this might be a difficult thing at the beginning to even know where to start. I don't even know if you're so numb to your emotions for so long, you don't even know where to begin with that process. So there needs to be a process of going within with that High Priestess card. Maybe this means meditation. Maybe this means Reiki healing. Honestly, Reiki for me dislodged a lot of negative emotions I didn't even know were there, and I started to remember and experience things from my past that were blocking my energy bodies in my body. Now, once again, you don't have to believe that. You don't have to let that be your modality. That was mine and it worked for me. For you, it could be anything, and it could be seeing a therapist, right? And I also encourage seeing a therapist, right? Because that's something I did as well. I saw a therapist for a lot in my life, and it was incredibly, incredibly helpful in understanding things, particularly challenging family stuff. It opened up a lot for me, and it opened up my understanding of a lot in a way that I couldn't get from anywhere but therapy. So therapy is a thing as well. But you find what it is for you, but there's a sense of needing to go within and understand your inner self more in order to alleviate some of this difficulty. Now, we have the sun present, so this is honestly something that can be done. And I think that's important to remember, that the biggest takeaway from this reading is breaking out of a sense of bleakness, breaking out of a sense that nothing is possible, that nothing can happen, that you are at the end. That is a false narrative, and it is a false narrative that you are lying to yourself about, and that is really important to remember. It's a very easy trap to fall into, this idea that nothing is possible, that nothing can happen, and this nihilistic sense. And you're not alone in thinking that. That's our world right now. We're all thinking that. That's the cultural norm, is to think that nothing is possible. That is a lie. It is a lie that is being told to us. It is a lie that we're telling ourselves. It's not just the external. We're talking about it ourselves too. And it's not true. You have the opportunity to do anything and to make anything of yourself, to be anyone. You really do. And let me rephrase that, because this isn't you being somebody else. I think it's also important to remember that. It's you becoming your own best friend. You realizing that who you are is actually awesome and good enough to be the person that you wish you were, because that is who you are. That's important to remember too. This isn't pretending to be somebody else. This isn't throwing yourself away to be somebody else. That doesn't work. Take it from my own personal experience. I can tell you that doesn't work, right? You got to be you, because you are you, and you are the only person you're going to spend your entire life with. So you got to become your own best friend at some point, because if you're your own enemy, that you're going to be fighting yourself forever. And if you believe Eastern wisdom, which, whatever, you don't have to. I don't. Calling it that is stupid. But if you follow any of the Eastern philosophical traditions, this might not be your only lifetime, right? This might not be your only situation. And so if you don't do it this lifetime, it's going to just keep happening. So there's no escaping you, right? You're going to keep going until you don't, right? Until you dissolve it or whatever. I don't know. Take that as it resonates. So anyway, we got 2 more cards. I hope this reading is helping you. We got the Magician. Yeah, that's great. And we got the Queen of Wands. Okay, this is a really great place to leave it. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you are in the driver's seat of your life. And what is passionate to you can happen. You can be the one to make those things happen. Those dreams of yours, they're there. They're possible. Now, it's just going to take meeting yourself where you are, though. You can't pretend that you're not where you are. The Magician transforms their existence into anything, but they can't transform nothing from nothing. And that's important to remember. You have to be where you are first. And if you're not in a good place, that's where you have to meet yourself. And that's okay. It's okay to not be in a good place. It's okay to not be okay. That's the first thing. You got to understand that. It's okay to not be okay. If you're not doing well, that's okay. First things first, tell yourself that. It's okay that you're not okay. Now, after you do that, then you can start to say, what can I do to meet myself where I am and alleviate where I am? Now, I see where I want to go, but what can I do right now to get there, right? That might mean, for me, when I was in my deep, dark depression, it was gratitude meditation, gratitude affirmations, not just positive affirmations where you're telling yourself fake things that aren't true, right? Not that. It's learning to see the things in life that you have that you're grateful for, because gratitude and depression can't sit in the mind at the same time. So once you start to learn, like, I am so grateful that I have this body to be able to move through the world. And I'm so grateful that I have clean air that I can breathe, that I can exist with. I'm so grateful that I have access to food, because not everybody does. I'm so grateful that I have a place to sleep, because so many people are on the street. I'm so grateful that I have access to the internet, because so many people don't, right? There's so many things that are in my life that I'm grateful for. And that kind of gratitude can help you shift your perspective into seeing things in a different way. And it's that shift of the mentality and the inner landscape that's going to help you bring yourself to somewhere better and out of this nihilistic, hopeless state, because that is not the truth. That is something that you're telling yourself, right? That there is possibility for you, but it's going to take shifting your ability to see that. So anyway, pile number 1, that's my reading for you. And that's the reading from the stone. I think that's supposed to be from the stone. So the river wants you to know that you can wash away any difficulties, right? That the river washes away any impurities and has a soft stone at the end, right? You can do that for yourself too. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Catch you later. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading on what are the messages from the stones. These are beautiful river stones from Taiwan. These are some serpentine, some jadeite. This one is a piece of serpentine, some raw serpentine. So what does this raw serpentine stone, river stone, want to tell you? We'll put that up there. So the main message from the Riverstone is it is time to work with other people. So I think that potentially you've been doing something for a long time. Potentially you've been working hard at something. You've been trying to make something happen. You've been working on a project, something like that. Well, this is a moment where you're running a little bit low on independent energy, and this is the time to work with other people. So let's try to get a better understanding of that. It's very clear. This reading is incredibly clear. That's great. Sometimes it's great to have really straightforward readings. And for you guys, I think it's really, really abundant that you're just doing too much. You're trying to juggle too many things. There's too many things you're trying to do. And I don't think that at this point you're able to accurately and comfortably juggle all of these pieces anymore. So now is a moment where there really is a good opportunity in this moment to try to say, okay, where can I bring in help from other people? Where can I build community with other people? You know, where are other people doing things well? Maybe this isn't necessarily like you're going to get an employee to help you or something like that. This could be, you know, I need to build a community of like-minded people who are doing similar things and figure out what they're doing. Maybe this is, I need to collaborate with similar creators and see what they're up to and see if I can do any kind of cross-promotional work, you know, something like that. This is an opportunity to connect with and bridge the gap between fellow creators and see if there's anything you can do to work with other people in that way, potentially. Not that you're necessarily making something or creating something, that's just what's popping to mind. So if you're trying to make a business, you know, maybe this means joining a business association, right? If you're trying to become a doctor, maybe this means, you know, finding some kind of community doctor situation, right? So take it for your own situation here, but there's a real feeling that you just trying to do it all alone, it's too much for you and it's no longer working. So this opportunity is coming in to give you a real change, right? So your physical world around you needs to change a little bit too. So maybe there is a location change potentially involved in this, where it's like maybe the community you need is not around where you are, and so you need to go to the places where people are doing what you're doing. Maybe that's a part of this. Maybe this means moving to somewhere with like-minded people who are doing similar things. Maybe this means finding a new location, a new job, a new situation where people are more like-minded, who are going to help you build what you're trying to build. Now, I'm not telling you to leave your job. I'm not telling you to leave your house, right? But, you know, take it as it resonates. This might be an opportunity to change something in your physical world, because the Ace of Pentacles means a new beginning in the physical. So something about where you are could change that could bring you a better sense of stability, conclusion, creation, and it's going to involve a new community. So maybe it's just as simple as changing your community a little bit. Maybe you have a regular group of friends that you hang out with all the time, but and they're great, they're wonderful people, but they don't necessarily align to the specific niche that you're trying to do right now. So maybe that means finding a different community to spend time with too. That doesn't mean, I know you're overburdened here. You have so many of these things, but maybe that means also, some relationships that aren't really quite working out for you as much as they used to. Maybe it means letting those go a little bit, maybe that means becoming a little bit more distant from those people and finding the people who are a little bit more aligned to who you are and what you want to do now. There could be an opportunity for that as well. So take that as it resonates. Let's see. Next card. We got the Ace of Cups. Yeah, a lot of new beginnings energy involved in this reading. This is really, really big. So I do think that there's a big change coming for you in this reading. It's really present. This is an opportunity for you to take some changes, to make some changes, to start something different, to start something new. I do think you've been working on something for a while, but I think now is the opportunity to put down all of those things that you do not need to carry anymore. What are you carrying right now that you do not need to be holding? That's some of the biggest, most important aspects of this is what can you let go of right now that is not working, that is not serving you, that is not something that's going to help you? How can you let that go right now and pick up the things that are going to work out for you better, that are going to be working, that are important, that are the right thing, right? How can you let go of the things that don't work and pick up the things that do? And that's going to be really important for you here. And the other thing about this is a new beginning in your emotionality. So maybe you've been feeling kind of depressed or overwhelmed or overworked, and this is an opportunity for you to really feel those feelings instead of trying to put them away. A lot of times we just pretend like everything is fine even when it isn't for us, because we don't want to face the fact that we don't like where we are. And, especially if you've put in a lot of work and a lot of time in some area that you don't like and you're not happy with and you don't want, it can be really upsetting to really just look pull the Band-Aid off and look fully at it, like, hey, you know what? I really don't like where I am right now. I don't like how I feel right now. I don't feel good about it anymore. And I'm ready to change that. I'm ready to do something different. And that's okay, Feeling those emotions fully are going to let you not be controlled by them as much. It allows you to not feel as though you have no possibility and no way forward, because you feel all of the things that you need to feel. You have that catharsis. You have that breakthrough, that washing away of those things. And it's a hard thing to face your emotions fully. It's not easy. But if you allow yourself to do that, to really embrace where you are, even if you don't like where you are, even if it's uncomfortable, just feel it all. Be there with yourself. You give yourself the possibility of change because you see everything that you're at. You can't move from the place that you're at if you don't acknowledge where you are. It's impossible. You have to be where you are in order to move somewhere else. You can't just pretend like everything is fine, because when you do that, it's not really putting you where you want to be. It's just continue this energy that you don't like. So, it might be a challenge, but you really are being encouraged to feel all that you feel. And once you do that, it gives you this new opportunity to move towards something else. And that's the thing, is like there needs to be some kind of purging, I think, here. Emotional purging, deep emotional, just let it all come out, let it all well up, let it all out, and feel all of that you need to feel with that, because there is a new direction coming for you here that's going to help you feel like you have a brand new day here as well. It's like your ship's finally coming in. You finally setting off into the sunset. You finally working towards that thing that's going to make you feel better about yourself, by putting down those burdens that aren't working and allowing yourself to be totally and completely immersed in the things that you need for yourself. It allows you to continue along in a way that is really helpful and really impactful. And I think that's important here. Now we have the King of Wands, which is, continuing along this. It's like you have to be your own cheerleader here. I think that's the biggest thing for you that's going to help you, and when you connect with these other people too, like they're going to be your cheerleader. Other people can be your cheerleader sometimes, but ultimately at the end of the day, you're going to be the one who has to tell yourself that you're satisfied, or you're going to be the one who has to continue the thing. You're the one who has to put in the grind. You're the one who has to keep up the work. You're the one who has to keep continuing. You have to keep going. And so you need to find a way to open this up within yourself in a manner and in a fashion that lets you feel like, yes, okay, I can do this. Yes, all right, this is good for me. Yes, okay, this is possible. Yes, okay, I can understand. And so like really tapping into that energy of, I know what I want. I know who I am. I know how I feel, and I know how to go out to my passions. And maybe I don't see every step ahead of me, but I know that by using my heart to catapult me forward, I can continue in a way that's going to really feel beneficial for me. And I just saw a dragonfly fly by outside my window. So dragonfly symbolism for confirmation. All right. So I think the biggest thing, actually we'll take it. I don't always do reversals, but I'm going to take it for you. I think the biggest way to start to come out of this thing, right, is to feel all those feelings and to understand that anxiety, and fear are a product of the mind here. So I think that, you might have a lot of fears and trepidations and anxiety around moving forward, about doing something different. There could be fears about, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if this big move doesn't work for me? What if I can't make it happen? What if I fall flat? What if I don't have enough money? What if I don't? What if? But it's important to remember that those are just a product of the mind here. And with it in reverse, I think that if you really tap into that emotionality and you embody the King of Wands instead of the Nine of Swords, you embody your King of Wands, where it's like, you know what? I'll figure it out. Yeah, what if it doesn't work? Okay, well, when was the last time something didn't work? Did I just lay down and give up and just say, okay, that's it, I'm done with life? Chances are you didn't do that. Chances are you figured it out, right? So you got to give yourself some credit to know that you can figure it out. So yeah, okay, what if you encounter a challenge? I'm sure you'll figure it out somehow. What if this thing doesn't work? Okay, well, I think you'll probably pivot and do something different, So give yourself some credit in that and understand that, even if things don't work out, you have the power and the capability to make those changes, to do something different, and, be trusting yourself enough to know that you can make things happen. You can do things differently. You can make things better for yourself if you need to. You have the power here. I'm going to take two here. Okay, so as you continue to move forward here, I think that there's also an importance between these two cards of how to move forward, right? I think, like I'm saying, there's a great idea to move, to change, to put down some burdens, to find new community. Don't be too hasty in this, though, right? This reading is maybe this is inspiration for you, and you should take that inspiration and you should apply it to your life. Actually, I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. You can do these things, right? You can take them. I'm not going to tell you what to do here. But it's also important to remember that don't make any knee-jerk decisions either in this, right? Don't just take one tiny idea and go off and cut out everything that's in your life, and and then you might fall on your face, right? So I think that that's a part of this too. This overthinking energy might be this fear of taking those decisions. That can also actually probably help you alleviate this sense. Is if you take the King of Cups approach to change instead of the Knight of Swords approach to change, I think that you won't be feeling that anxiety because you can build a plan for yourself, right? You can build a plan. There's none of this that's going on here is telling you to have any kind of knee-jerk reaction and just jump at some random thing and not think about it critically, right? So there's an importance of allowing yourself to think about things critically and feel it out too. The King of Cups knows his emotional state. He's deeply, deeply emotionally connected. So there's a sense here too that the way to move forward is not to overthink things in a way that's going to cause this anxiety, and I got to do this, and I got to do this, right? It's okay, no, come back down, right? Don't follow that, right? Instead, tune back into your emotional state. Tune back into your emotions. What makes me happy? What do I need to feel fulfillment? What do I need to feel comfortable? If anything is making me feel uncomfortable, I don't have to do that. If this jump is making me feel uncomfortable, I don't have to jump that way. I can take some time. I can move in a way that works for me. I can build a plan that works for me. I don't have to charge forward in some really, really fast, unhinged way. I can move forward from a plan, from a place of stability, from a place of calm, and take that forward, right? So if you need to find a way to come back to that moment, I really do suggest doing that before you take any knee-jerk reactions in this. Like make these moves from a place of stability, of inner calm here. Okay, I'm going to take 2. Okay. Actually, we'll take that one in reverse. Okay, so, I think that as you continue to do this kind of work on yourself and you continue to make these types of moves, I think what we're seeing is a coming away from, starting to come out of the battle here, especially if this is with other people, right? So with the 7 of Swords in reverse, I think that there's a big, big message to not listen to naysayers in your life, who are going against what you need for yourself. I think that's a big, big part of this too, is like, there are going to be people in your life who don't believe in your vision. There are going to be people in your life who don't believe in you, right? That's just a part of being alive, because like even people who love you, they just don't see the whole picture that you see, right? They don't see the potential that you see. They don't see the future that you see, and that's okay, right? They don't have to. But you don't have to listen to that either, right? You don't have to take somebody else's word as gospel here. You can find this out for yourself. And I think that I'm seeing, the more that you tune into your own emotionality and not all of the voices going around you and the voices in your head telling you no, 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 and the people who are giving you that voice in your head telling you no, 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 right? It's starting to listen to what you feel you need for yourself here. I think I see you overcoming that energy here, right? I think I see you overcoming the voices that other people and those things around you are telling you no, and really like figuring out, does it matter what other people say as much? Maybe not. Does it matter that other people are telling me no? Maybe not. Maybe I have the power and the capability within myself to do what I know that I need for myself, and I don't have to listen to those things. I can just follow what I want. And, if you have anybody big and important in your life who are telling you don't do something, and like, you have to follow what they're saying. Like, I totally understand that, but maybe there's some kind of middle ground here, right? And not doing a knee-jerk reaction, but it could be some way of being like, okay, well, I understand, like, especially if you have any responsibilities or anything, like if you are a parent, for instance, or you're taking care of somebody, or somebody is like, dependent on you. I think there is an importance to remember that and to take that into account with any of this stuff, right? Like, don't just abandon the people who you're legally responsible for, right? Like, so take that in mind, but there could be some middle path here that's allowing you to follow this a lot more, where you're still taking care of this person, but you're doing it in a different way that allows you to also find your passions, right? It doesn't have to be so one-sided. And I think that that's a really important thing to remember, is like, you can still do this stuff and help somebody else and take care of somebody else, if that's a part of your life, right? That's not going to be for everybody here, but I just think it's important to remember that, right? Like, or if like loved ones in your life are like, no, like but then it's a difference, right? So if it's like your mom is telling you like, I don't think you can do that, like, you don't have to listen to that so much, because it's you living your life, you're doing your thing, right? So, and no offense to all moms out there, I'm not trying to be mean to moms. Like, I love my mom. My mom doesn't sound like that, but you know what I mean? It's just putting that out there. You don't have to listen to any naysayers. That's all. You can still know in your heart what you need to do, and you can follow that. And, if somebody else is having their own worries put on you, that's not you, that's them. And it's really important to remember that. All right, we got a couple more cards here. I got to wrap this up soon. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. And yeah. Okay, so, our final thoughts, with the Tower there, I do think some big change is coming here. And so I think there's a real importance to be the one to choose how to make this change. And that's, I think, your choice here. You're being left at the very end with a choice on how you can move forward here with the Two of Swords. You've got the High Priestess on the one side, or you've got the Tower on the other. And you have the choice on which path to move down. So you can either tune in to your emotions, your emotional state, to your intuition, and learn how to understand your intuition and follow your intuition to move forward. You can either take that choice to follow the intuitive drive, the intuitive nudges, the things in life telling you what to do, how to move deep down within, or you can ignore that and the universe is going to push you in this direction anyway, right? And we pushed off the Knight of Swords, right? So it's sort of like the easier route for you in life might be to just fully learn how to listen fully to your inner voice and follow that. But if that's too hard or you can't do it or it doesn't work out, the universe is going to make changes in your physical life that's going to help you move towards this anyway. So that could be two ways. You don't have to worry too much about that. It's just sometimes the tower can be a little bit tricky because it's your physical foundations, your physical world shaking and breaking and moving. And that can be really tumultuous sometimes. So you have the opportunity, though, to tune in and make these changes yourself first. And I think that that's really important to remember. So you can be the one in the driver's seat here and make any changes you need and want for yourself, or you can ignore those knowings and the universe is going to find a way to push you in that direction anyway, and that might be a little bit more challenging. So it's up to you to choose how you want to move forward with that. But anyway, pile number 2, that's my reading for you. I hope that it resonates. Let me know in the comments what you think. Please do leave a comment. It helps engagement. Give this video a like as well. Likes and comments really, really do help. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It helps me out too. I love hearing from everybody too. So, let me know what you think. And I got more to come. So tune into that. Catch you later. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading for messages from the stones. So these are stones, river stones I found in Taiwan. They are natural jade and serpentine and one slate. This particular one is a jade, almost a jade, not quite pure. It's almost in between a serpentine and a jade. Really quite lovely, quite beautiful. I don't know if you can see it very well with my weird dramatic lighting going on here, but you can kind of see it. Let's dive right into your reading. So what do the stones need you to know? For you have the Two of Cups. So this is going to be a reading about connecting with other people. It doesn't have to be about relationships like romantic wise. It could be any kind of partnership or any kind of working with others. So something about this reading for my pile number 3s is all about your connection with other people. So we're going to try to see what's going on in your connection with other people, particularly some kind of partnership, potentially. This is about a romantic relationship you're in, but I want to keep it really open. It could also be about a family relationship. It could be about a friend relationship, but there's something about some connection with other people that the stones want you to know. So the first thing about that is that you have whatever relationship this is that we're talking about here. I don't think it's a challenging one. I think actually this is one that's really beneficial for you, really good for you. So whoever you're thinking of, whatever person you're thinking of, if you're trying to get some clarity on something, there's real homecoming energy into this, and I think you put a lot of work into this relationship as well. So I think that this is a person who really makes you feel like you're at home with yourself. This is someone who you can come home to in a certain sense. So I do feel like this for a bunch of people here, this is about a romantic relationship, but it's not that way for everybody. There's a lot of work that's been put into this that you guys have done with each other to create a dynamic that is really beneficial, really flourishing, really beautiful, really nurturing. So, if this is future focused and you're trying to think like, is this a good relationship for me in the future? I don't think so, though. I think this is a relationship dynamic you've been a part of for a long time. So, this could be literally like coming home, like like talking about your mom, like the family relationship. This could very much be that kind of dynamic, because this homecoming card and this work, it's like I feel like there's a history with this person, whoever this is. If this could be your childhood best friend that we're talking about, right? It's really, really open. It doesn't have to be romantic, although it could be. It could be a long time romantic relationship. So what is it that we need to know about this? So far, I don't see any disharmony in this. This just feels like a glow up reading about like, hey, congrats on having such a nice relationship with somebody. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you're feeling really alone. And this is a reminder like, hey, you could call your mom and, she could talk to you right now, right? It could be something like that, like, hey, maybe reach out to your dad right now. Like maybe lean on that a little bit more. There's a little bit of that kind of energy here. It's sort of like, if you're feeling alone, you're feeling lost, or you're feeling like you don't really know how to move forward, there's other people in your life who can give you some advice and give you some clarity on yourself and on life and on stuff that might really help you feel better. There's someone who you've been connected with for a long time who maybe has gone through what you're going through right now. It could be if you're going through any kind of challenging situation, and this is a perfect moment to kind of reach out to them and say, hey, look, I'm not really doing well and I need help. I think that there's a little bit of that going on here. Yeah, reconnecting in a celebratory with friends, this is like a real friend energy here. So if things are challenging for you right now, and maybe they even aren't, maybe things are actually really great for you right now, and maybe there's something challenging for this person, it could easily be that too. This could be spirit coming in to let you know through these jade stones, coming in to let you know like, hey, someone in your life is struggling right now, and they actually need your positivity and your openness and your light, and they need your assistance and they need your help. And this is an opportunity for you to really kind of open up to that and understand like, hey, okay, there's friends in my life who really need me right now. They need my energy, they need my kindness, they need my openness, they need my friendship right now, my love. And if you share that with these people, I think that's going to be really helpful for you too, because there's this beautiful, loving, interconnected relationship energy. And so, the stones could be really coming in to let you know too that not to think that you exist in a vacuum, not to think that you're all alone, that you're all by yourself in this lifetime, that actually we exist in these connections with other people, and our interconnectedness with others is not a weakness and not something to hate. It's something to really cherish and experience. I think pile number 1 was a little bit like this, because I think I gave the same analogy, but I'm really I'm getting some Kamala Harris vibes here, the coconut tree story. It's funny because when I first started these readings, we didn't hear the news yet about what's going on with Kamala, so it's just really funny that's coming back here. But anyway, did you think you fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all that has come before you, right? And all around you, right? So it's sort of, you don't exist alone in this world. You exist as an interconnected being with all of those things and parts and aspects that exist around you, right? And so it's like and you're not only that either. I think that was the part of her quote as well, is sort of like you exist in this continuum, but you can also exist, you can overcome it too. Like that doesn't have to be your only story. But I think, I think it's important to remember that there are other people in your life here who can really help you and connect you, and you can help them. And there can be this beautiful community reciprocal energy that I think a lot of us are really missing right now. We're in this super isolated era, and that isolation is really damaging to our human spirit. And there's a sense here of really taking the time to reconnect with those that you love and using that to help you and help them and create this beautiful interconnected community space that could really help you feel more love, more connection, more gentleness, more beauty, more relationship, more love. And by connecting into that, there's a sense here that you can feel more yourself, really putting yourself out there with those that you love and not isolating yourself so much these days. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so yeah, we've got the death card, which is not as scary as it sounds. Oh, and I don't always do reversals, but I'm going to take it. We have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, which is great. So I think this is coming in to let you know, honestly, that maybe you are self-isolating, and the stones are coming in to let you know, like, hey, you have an opportunity to change this dynamic, and actually embracing this opportunity that you have to change this dynamic might actually help you become a more at peace with your life and your situation, make you feel better about where you're at and what's happening. There's an opportunity to let go of this isolation energy, right? Which is what's being shown in the Four of Pentacles in reverse. It's sort of like this era of you holding things really close and being really scared to make a move and being alone and clutching, onto the fear energy of isolation. That is coming to a close here. And it's coming to a close because it's like, now is the time to reach out to the people around you, right? Because that isolation that you're feeling, it's a kind of a lie. It's not a truth here. You are not as isolated as you seem to think. There are actually those that you love that are around you who can help you break out of this isolation energy and move into a place of feeling more interconnected with others. And that connection will help break you out of this spell of feeling like nothing is possible and nothing can move forward, because you'll start to see that we all experience this, right? When I was saying that your energy could help others too, we all experience this kind of thing. So, what are those relationships out there that you have that you can connect to? Even if you feel like you don't have those people, you clearly do. Someone out there is a part of your life who is important, even if that's a family member, even if that's a friend from a long time ago. Maybe that friend would love it if you reached out, Maybe you have some friends who you used to hang out with all the time and you don't see anymore who would love to talk to you again, right? There could be that sort of energy here as well. So let's see, we have the Seven of Cups and we have the Five of Wands. Yeah, so I do feel like you have been lost lately. I think you've been really stuck because you've been kind of lost at directionality. It's like you don't exactly know which way to move in life right now. And I think that's because of this isolation energy, this stuckness. It's sort of like this feedback loop where you don't know what to do, and then you feel like there's too much and it's overwhelming, and then you don't know what to do and it's overwhelming, and you don't know what to do and it's overwhelming. And so there's a sense of like, to break out of that cycle, it's like you need this levity that other people in your life can help bring to you, right? This levity of joyful friend connection can be really, really helpful for you in this moment of really connecting with others in a way that is open and loving and kind and interconnected. And that's going to help you break through any kind of illusions that are going through your mind right now, and if there's any kind of like difficulty in making choices to move forward, by maybe other people's perspectives could help you see a clearer path through the choices as well. There could be an opportunity to see more clarity through connecting with other people as well. Like that this clarity energy could help you feel more connected and at peace with your own state of being in your own place. And there's a real opportunity to really connect to that. So we have the Hierophant in reverse. I'm going to take that. I can't show this full card, so we'll cover that a little bit. All right, these are all in reverse, which is interesting. Like I said, I don't always read reversals, but I am going to take that. We'll put these three like this just to connect it. So the takeaway here, the finality of this is sort of like with the Hierophant in reverse, I think that a part of this isolation, like I said, is what we're all going through right now. So there's a little bit of like something about our external environment and the way that society is set up right now is kind of pushing us into this isolation. It's pushing us into this idea that this is the only thing that can be, that we have, this is the only thing that we have. And it's blocking us from feeling the true open possibility that's really available to us. And society is kind of pushing us into this isolated self, And so that's what's leaving you feeling blocked from being able to make a real connection with other people. So this is sort of like encouraging you to break out of that, And with the Knight of Cups in reverse, I think a part of it too is you're not allowing yourself to feel all that you need to feel, right? Maybe you're blocking your emotions, and that's a part of where this isolation is coming from as well, is sort of not wanting to face any kind of challenging emotions you might be going through, not wanting to think about what's happening, not wanting to connect with any kind of difficult situation you might be going through. And so this is an opportunity for you to actually break out of that a little bit. And that might be the way out of this, is sort of like, let yourself feel the emotions, let yourself feel any kind of challenging situation you might be in, even if it's difficult. Feeling that fully and completely might actually help you open yourself up to a greater sense of clarity, a greater sense of understanding that you can then take and transfer into connecting with other people in a more open and creative kind of way. So I do think that the stones really want to let you know that there's connection for you in this world, and there are people in this world that love you and want to talk to you and want to connect with you, and you don't have to feel so isolated, because there's many people out there for you, and it's up to you to really open yourself up to that and be open to connecting with others, because you have a great opportunity to do that in this lifetime. So open yourself up to the people around you, open yourself up to the connections that exist around you, and really connect in with that, dive into that a little bit more, and that's really going to help you out. So anyway, pile number 3, that's it from me. That's my reading. Let me know what you think in the comments. Either way, I love hearing from everybody. Please do, if you're listening to this and you get the opportunity, leave a comment. Even if you just say good, even if you just say pile number 3, it really does help me. I'm trying really hard to get these videos out to as many people as possible. So any kind of engagement you can give me is so helpful. Any kind of like or comment. If you're new to this channel and you enjoy it, please do subscribe. I would love it to have you with me on this journey. Check out my other content. I've got some shorts content. I've got a lot of stuff in the works. So stay tuned for more. And thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you later. Bye, everybody. Welcome, pile number 4, to your reading. This is going to be a reading of messages from the stones. These are river stones from Taiwan. They're jadeite and serpentine mostly. This is raw serpentine from a river in Taiwan. You can kind of see it a little bit. This lighting is not the best, but you can kind of make it out a little bit. So let's dive in. What do the river spirits from Taiwan want you to know through these stones? For you, the river spirits are here to give you clarity. Imagine a river washing away impurities. The river wants to bring you some messages of clearing out the difficult situations that are going on in your life. They want to give you some clarity on how to wash away some of these impurities, these difficult situations in your life. So let's figure it out together. What do the river spirits want you to know here? They're here to help you clear out any kind of block from learning how to be your true embodied passionate self, and any kind of block, lots of backwards, any kind of block to your personal creativity. So there's a sense here for my pile number 4 is that maybe you're feeling blocked right now. You're feeling like you don't know how to connect to yourself in a way that maybe you have in the past. You don't know how to connect to your own passion anymore. Excuse the popping. You don't know how to connect to the ways that you've existed in the past. This deep interconnected fire, passionate, creative fire energy of boom going. And so the river is here to help you cut out the things that are blocking this connection. And looking at butterflies here, so butterflies are a spiritual connection, and these little birds up in the distance, there's a sense that the river spirits are helping you connect to your spiritual center and connect to the spirit realm. The spirit realm is coming in to give you encouragement that you are a deep, creative, spiritual being, and any kind of story you might be telling yourself about why you can't be this anymore is false. And any kind of story that you're telling yourself of why you have to wait to be yourself is a lie that you're telling yourself. And we're here today to wash that away a little bit. So let's figure out a little bit where this is coming from. All right, we've got the Justice card, and we have the Three of Swords. Yeah, so it's sort of like this is an opportunity right now to bring you back into balance, to cosmic balance. And I think that maybe the scales of balance for you have been off lately. And the river is coming in here to give you a sense of clarity and peace and balance. So actually, you know what? I want to do a little bit of an exercise together real quick. So if you would indulge me, we're going to take some mindful breaths together. So I'm going to direct you to breathe, and then we'll continue the reading. I think it's really important. I'm feeling intuitively. So everybody, please breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. So with this Three of Swords, there's a real possibility that you have been feeling heartbroken. You've been through difficult emotional turmoil in the past, and that's left a little piece of difficult energy inside you and is potentially blocking one of your energy points in your body. Doesn't necessarily, you don't have to think of things that way, but sometimes it's helpful to think of it as an analogy. If we think about the chakra centers, the chakra points of the body, it can be a very helpful analogy to dislodge the emotional blockages that exist within ourselves and inside our bodies. And so with this Three of Swords, there could be a blockage to the heart chakra, the heart center, and that can come from difficult emotional pain that you've been through. And so there's a sense that that is a part of what's blocking you from feeling the true extent of your own personal magnificence and breathing your own magnificent self into this world more. That there's a sense that this disconnection comes from feeling like the world has done you wrong, or feeling like life has done you wrong in certain areas. And sometimes that's a part of being alive. And it's not ever easy to go through this kind of thing, but it does happen. It happens to all of us. I've subscribed a lot to a fair amount of Buddhist philosophy and Buddhist ideals. And one of the main tenets of Buddhism is to understand and acknowledge and accept that suffering exists, that we do suffer in this world, and that suffering, it can't be ignored, and we can't pretend like it doesn't exist. It's not a part of life. And it doesn't mean that we have to allow suffering to be our only existence, right? It's not saying there is only suffering. It's just saying that suffering is a part of this reality. And so it's important for you to acknowledge the difficult things that you've been through and not pretend like they don't exist, because by pretending like you don't have those things, it doesn't help you connect more to the things that create this fiery, passionate self. And that fiery, passionate, creative energy is really, really, really wanting to come through here and really, really wanting to extend itself to you. So the first way to move into that energy again is to acknowledge where you are. If you're not happy about where you are fully, it's okay. It's okay to not be in the best place in the world, right? Because that happens to all of us. We all go through ups and downs, and that's a real, real part of reality. And so if you're in a down moment, it's okay. And even if you're not in a down moment, maybe you're just in a blah moment. Maybe you're not up, you're not down, maybe you've been worse. And so because you're not at your worst right now, you're sort of like, well, it's been worse. I don't know. It's fine, I guess, right? That in itself is still not this fiery, passionate, like, yes, let's go. I'm ready to move, right? Like, being in a numb state isn't necessarily the best thing for you either. Not that we need to put a value judgment on any of this. I think that's important too. There's no value judgment here. You are where you are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are, but it does matter to acknowledge that you are where you are. We don't have to put a value on it. We don't have to judge ourselves for being wherever we are, even if it's not, like I said, if it's not the highest, not the lowest, that's okay too. We could just be somewhere in the middle, and that middle might feel too blah, and it might be time to make a change and make a move, but you can't get there until you acknowledge, like, you know what? I've been through some stuff. And maybe I haven't let myself look at that stuff. And yeah, I know I've been in worse places, but maybe I didn't fully process that stuff yet. And maybe I just got to really like put it down on paper. Like, hey, look at all this crap I've been through, like look at all this stuff that's there. And the stuff is okay. It's okay to go through stuff. We all go through stuff. So, I don't always read reversals, but for whatever reason, this reading I think is calling for it. It's sort of like, I think that maybe you've been isolating yourself, and that's a part of this energy in order to come out of this, right? Because we're trying to clear right to the heart of it. There's a sense that maybe the community that you're around is not right, or that you aren't around a community, right? That could be it too. You're lacking a community in the direction of your passions. And that's a part of where you're not really connecting to this inner fire, is because you aren't surrounding yourself with the people who share that light. The Empress is very creative. Maybe you're not sharing your life with the creative people that need to be a part of your life. Maybe you're not in the right setting, the right community. Maybe you need to join a troupe, right? Some kind of troupe that's like-minded. I don't know. I'm just thinking of a theater troupe, right? You don't have to be into theater, but that's just what's coming to mind. You know how a theater has like instant community if you jump into it. And this is a message for me. So for me, I would like to find my theater troupe again. It's been a long time since I've been a part of the theater community, but that was my community for a long time, right? But I feel like, take it for you. Take it for your passion, your passionate community. If you're really passionate about business administration, maybe you need to join a business association. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So take it for whatever it is for you. But it's sort of like a change. You need to change your perspective on this and start to think about things from a practical standpoint, especially if you're one of these people who like knows kind of what your passions are, and you feel really disconnected from the passion, but you've been a part of that passionate energy in the past, and so you understand sort of what that looks like for you. I think it's sort of saying, now's the time to find people who embody that. And by doing that, that might help flip your mind and change your mind a little bit in this area as well. That you clearing this out might be like finding someone who embodies your passions, connecting with someone else who is doing what you want to do, and not from an envy point of view either. It's really important to remember that, by connecting to that person, this isn't about like, look at that person doing what I wish I was doing. I wish I could be like them. Like, no, that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is finding someone like, oh, look at that person who's doing what I want to do. I'm going to just talk their ear off a little bit. I'm going to pick their brain. That's the better word. I'm going to pick their brain a little bit. Like, hey, what's going on? Can we hang out? What does the community look like in this world? What can I do? How can I be a part of this? And connect a little bit with people who are doing what you're doing, and that might help you, open up a little bit more and feel like you can connect into this a little bit more. I can't show this card fully, so we'll do two together. We have the Star in reverse, and we have the Five of Wands. So it's sort of like, for some people here, this isn't for everybody, but there is a bit of an energy of wishing that you were in the spotlight a little bit, and feeling stuck because you're not in the spotlight. Like maybe a part of your calling is actually to be out and about in the world and be more public facing. And maybe you're really afraid to do that. And that's a part of where this stuck energy is coming from, is that you need to put yourself out there, but you're really afraid of fully putting yourself out there, and you don't know how to make that change. And you're just sort of like, well, okay, I know that I need to be out there more, but I just don't know how to do it. And I'm so afraid about all of the things that have happened to me in the past that I don't know how to get past that. I have this fear that's blocking me from being able to fully put myself out there in a way that's authentic and that's going to make me feel good. And I don't know exactly how to change that. I don't know how to be different in this. And that's okay too. Like I said, the biggest part about this reading is acknowledging exactly where you are. That's really, really important. Be here now. Be where you are. Understand that it's okay that you don't have all the answers to this. That's fine. But I do think there's a need to put yourself out there more. And putting yourself out into the spotlight might actually start alleviating some of this fear energy, this difficult energy, because you'll start to be like, oh, yes, of course, this is who I am, But what's good is we have the Dark Night of the Soul in reverse here. That's great. And yeah, we have the Seven of Cups. Yeah. So I think you have a lot of opportunities and you have a lot of options ahead of you. Even if you feel like you don't, you are coming out of this dark night of the soul energy. So if you've been down, you're at the tail end of this down energy. And I think that's really important to acknowledge, that you're at the end of a cycle of difficulty. You're not at the beginning of it. And so you're at the very end point where you can start to see the options ahead of you. So understand you have infinite possibility. You have infinite opportunity. You are not alone here in this, and you can move in any direction that you want. It might not seem that way right now, but it's important to remember and acknowledge that you have infinite possibility ahead of you. So what would you do if you could do anything? And that's really important to remember. You're coming out of this dark cycle. You're coming out of this bleak energy. There's an opportunity to change this, but it might still take some time. It's important to remember that. I think you are over the hump, but there's going to be more here to really acknowledge and understand. But at the end of this reading, you've got the King of Wands and you have the Strength card. Yeah, wow. So, this is really great. To have this come at the end and be the culmination of your reading, you are coming out of this blocked energy. It is here for you. It is possible for you. You need to acknowledge your emotions. You need to acknowledge where you've come from. You really do. You need to acknowledge everything that you've been through, and you got to be okay with it. You got to be okay with the difficulty. You got to be okay with not being okay. You got to be okay with things not working out in the past, because you're not in the past anymore. And if you continue to let the past hold you back, you're never going to get where you want to go. So you got to acknowledge that things didn't work out, and you got to be okay with that. And you got to be okay with being where you are in a place where things didn't work out, because anything can happen in the future. It's just going to take you changing your perspective and changing your trajectory in a way where you can really make it work and make it happen. But you have the ability to make that work for yourself. So what can you do to really make things happen in a way that's peaceful and connected and positive, in a way that's going to make you feel better about yourself and feel better about your life in a more open and continued existence? I don't know. Does that make any sense at all? I think that you have an opportunity here to really connect back into your own peace energy and feel less distracted, less distraught, less difficult, and more connected to your own inner passions and drives. Now, with the King of Wands as the end of this reading, it really is showcasing that you have the ability to be the brightest, passionate, this popping energy, I'm sorry, most passionate person you can possibly be. So connect into that here. And it's all tapping into your own inner strength here. So you are strong enough to do this. You are strong enough to be exactly who you dream of being. You are strong enough. It's going to take you reminding yourself that. It's going to take you telling yourself over and over, I am strong enough. I am strong enough. You are strong enough. You can make it happen. That's so important to remember. You can make anything happen. So tap into that energy, because that's what's here for you. Anyway, pile number 4, that's it for me, and it from the river spirits, the stones. So I hope that connects you to yourself more. I hope that you feel really good about that reading. I felt good about giving it to you. So let me know in the comments what you think. Please do leave a comment if you're hearing this. It does help a lot. Even if you just comment pile 4, like, honestly, it's so helpful. I've been having really, really challenging time with engagement lately. So anything you can do to help me grow this channel and get these readings out to more people, I really, really would appreciate it. I know it sounds a little bit like begging. I don't want to do that. But, if you have the ability to leave a quick little comment, please do. It's so helpful. And, give this video a like as well. Those things, they help the algorithm know that people are watching this and enjoying it. So if you've gotten this far and you could do me a solid, that helps me out. I'm trying to get these to as many people as possible. So thank you so much. I'll catch you later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye. Hi there, pile number 5. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be readings from these stones. I got these beautiful stones in a river in Taiwan, and this is a beautiful slate stone. I would show it to you up close, but it's covering the card here that I can't show fully. So you have the World card. So what do the river spirits from Taiwan want you to know? The river spirits from the stones from Taiwan want you to know that that you are entering into a new chapter in your life, and this moment is ushering in something brand new. So it's time to move on from something. You're graduating a cycle in your life and moving up and into something better and beyond. And what is this new cycle for you? What is it that you're moving up and into here? Okay. Oh, wow. All right. So I think the past cycle that you've been through here has been a bit of a challenging one, and I think it's important to acknowledge that here. I do think you're kind of coming out of it, though. With being the world here, I think that this is no longer the energy that you're going to be in. I think you've finally found a way to move up and on and beyond from this energy. You might be. This is kind of interesting, but I think this is like the next level from pile number 4. So maybe some of pile number 4 might resonate for what you've been through, but you're about to move out of that. You're moving into something new. So it's important to remember, I think you've been feeling really, really stuck lately. And I think that this stuckness energy is coming from really, a sense of grief. This is the grief card. This is loss. This is experiencing a tremendous amount of loss. And so I think that you've encountered a lot of loss in your life in certain areas. And it doesn't have to be fully about losing people, but something. You've lost something. You've lost hope in something. But what's important to remember with this card is this person has lost these 3 cups, right? These 3 cups are gone. But behind them do remain. So even though it is a real difficult situation that they have been through, they still have some things remaining, and that these things that are remaining are actually really deeply important things to them. And actually that now that they have experienced not of losing things, the things that are remaining become even more important. And so I think in this next cycle of your life, you have a clear understanding of what's important to you. You really understand what is important in life and what is not, what is worth focusing on and what is not, what is worth putting your energy into and what might not be. So even though you might have been through some difficult situations and gone through challenges, you have an understanding of how to move forward. You have an understanding of really knowing that you even though difficult things have happened to you, you know what you want, you know what you need, you know what to cherish. You have a better understanding on what to cherish in life. And not everybody can see that. Not everybody can see what's actually important. And I think that this next level for you that you're entering into is really using and catalyzing that information that you have of really understanding what is important in life, using that to your advantage and moving forward from a place of understanding that you know what you need, you know what's important, you know what to do, and you can make that happen now. So this new chapter is a change in your physical world. So, there could be moving. This might be an opportunity to move somewhere different, to really get completely out of this. Honestly, I feel for a lot of people, not everybody, but I feel for a lot of people watching this, there is an opportunity to move somewhere else, even move towns, cities, countries, even. Not for everybody, but for some people, this could be going to a completely different place that you don't know anything about, really starting fresh and starting new. I think there's a sense of needing to get away from the past here and a fresh start somewhere else. I'm thinking somewhere sunny. It doesn't have to be for everybody, but some of you, right? A new sunny start, it could just be your outlook is sunny, right? But this new fresh place. And I'm not telling you to, leave your job, quit your house, whatever, quit your house. You know what I mean? I'm quitting you, house. I, you know your life better than I know your life, right? I don't know your life at all. You know it intimately. So do what's best for you. I'm not telling you what to do here, but there's an opportunity to change something about your physical world here that I think will help you in this next chapter. And, we got fortune is on your side here. Balance. Yeah, I think this next cycle is going to be really nice. The wheel of fortune is changing. It's turning for you. And this sucky life that you've been experiencing lately, you're coming out of that. This stuck energy that you've been experiencing lately, You're moving out of it, but it's coming from a place with this temperance card, right? Because like I was saying with the grief card, it's like you learn how to cherish what you have. There's a bit of a bittersweet energy to this as well, you know? It's not all like sunshine and roses because life hardly ever is. You have the nuance that exists within you. You understand things from a nuanced level. You know, you might be entering some really beautiful things, but I think you're going to feel what's happened to you forever. So, you know, don't think that you're just going to pretend like nothing happened. No, you've grown from this. Like I said, you know how to cherish things more and you know what's important more. That can only come from the wisdom of experience. And a lot of times that experience wisdom comes from pain and challenge. So don't pretend like, you know, don't lie to yourself and saying like, ugh, I can't believe this stuff happened to me. I would have been so much better off without it. Like, no, you needed those things to happen. I mean, I believe that and I don't believe that at the same time. I want to preface that. I want to be really careful about, you know, difficult things that happen to us. I don't think, you know, we can say, this suffering I was supposed to suffer. Like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you were supposed to go through bad things. What I'm saying is you did go through bad things. So to pretend that you didn't or to wish that you didn't is counterproductive and is unrealistic because it's not true. You did go through those things. So since you did go through those things, what can you take from those things? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you had to go through those things. I'm saying that because you did go through those things, you can take the benefits that can come from those things. And I think that you're entering into an opportunity with the temperance card of really learning how to understand what the benefits are from going through those difficult things, right? And there are some, and not obviously suffering is suffering. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no saying that it's great, right? Because it's not. When we go through terrible things, it's terrible. There's no silver lining about pain, right? There really isn't. And it's important to remember that. And I'm not trying to say that because I think sometimes in the spiritual community, you know, we can kind of start to say, well, we had to do these horrible things. And if you really start to think about it logically, it can feel really gross, right? So that's not what I'm saying here. But I'm saying is that when we do go through these challenging things, because we will, because that's life, because that's who we are, that's how we exist. We're human beings. We exist on the earth plane. There is suffering here. We experience it. We can't get away from it. It's a part of this existence and this reality. Unfortunately, we can do what we can to alleviate it. We can do what we can to try to stop it, right? We can all try to work together with all sentient beings to work on the liberation of all sentient beings. That's a part of my life journey. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm giving you this reading right now, right? That's a part of my story. But we can do all that, but we do have to acknowledge that bad things are bad, right? Like, crappy things are crappy. There's no sugar no sugar there. Right. And I think it's important to acknowledge that because when people are going through terrible things, you know, the last thing you want to hear is like, oh, this horrible thing you're experiencing is really beautiful. Like, nobody wants to hear that when you're suffering. That's horrible. Like, it's horrible to try to tell somebody that, you know, but that being said, there are some benefits to going through challenging things that we can have on the other side of it. That doesn't mean that we have to do that in order to understand these things, but we can take that and use that wisdom and share it with other people so that they don't have to go through what we went through, right? We can help alleviate other people's suffering by sharing our story and sharing our experience. And I think that you've been through some difficult things, and that allows you to have an opening into wisdom that not everybody has. And that opening in wisdom can be shared and help alleviate other suffering in a way that they don't have to go through what you went through. And that's important too. You know, maybe you have a similar journey to this lifetime that I do, right? It's very possible. I think we all kind of share a little bit of that on this spiritual journey. And if you're watching a tarot reading right now, I think the part of you might be in that collective, you know, with me. So, you know, you can make lemonade out of your lemons. That's a part of the temperance card here. So it's not saying that lemons are great. It's saying that when we have a lemon, we can do something with it that isn't just getting lemon juice in your eye, right? That's all. That's all, right? And that's what I think that message gets a little bit lost sometimes, you know, when we just say, oh, pretend like it's all fine. Like, not at all what I'm saying. Not at all. You got to be 100% honest with yourself. When things aren't working, when things are horrible, you need to experience it. You need to acknowledge that that's what's happening. You need to be truthful that that's what's happening, because there's no way to get out of it, right? The first step is acknowledging that you have a problem, right? On the 12-step program or whatever. I don't actually know. I've never been a part of that. But that's a part of it. You got to acknowledge that there's a problem first. You have to. It's the first step, because if you pretend like there's nothing wrong, you're never going to fix anything, right? You're never going to walk out of this thing. So that was a long tangent. Let's keep going. Yeah, I think that there's an opportunity for you to actually find happiness here and start a new journey, go on a new venture, do things differently, travel, go somewhere else. I think a change of place. I said that before. You don't even have to move necessarily. Maybe this just means going on a trip. Maybe take a road trip. Maybe go to the town next door more often. Just change your environment. Maybe this just means get out of the house more. Go for a walk more, right? Change your environment. There's something about your physical environment that is, got too many bad memories. It's time to move out of that a little bit. It doesn't have to be moving forever, but maybe for some people, this is a real move, right? Because I think that's going to help you feel more happy, because you won't have bad associations. Sometimes when we go through terrible things, places are forever tainted like that. All right. So this next chapter, there's a change in your perspective here coming into that's going to involve, more movement in the physical, like huge movement in the physical. A lot of pentacles in this reading. So, the energy here is physical movement. I think that there is a real need for you to change your location. Like I said, even if that's taking a road trip, even if that's taking a vacation, flying somewhere, going somewhere, even if you don't, feel like you're a little bit worried about finances, you don't know how you're going to move, you don't know how you're going to get out. Find some way to travel somewhere, even if it's nearby. Change your scenery, bike out of town, something, You have feet, you can walk. It could be as easy as changing your apartment. It could be easy as changing a room. Maybe you can switch rooms with somebody if you have roommates or something like that. There's something about changing your physical space, and there's movement in the physical space, and that's going to help you alleviate you from this sort of catastrophizing energy where, you just feel down, and this can be depression sometimes too. So maybe you really have been depressed lately, and this is an opportunity to come out of that depression. And so maybe there's some physical movement is going to help you with that. This could be exercise even, just moving your body more, movement in general. Movement, I think, is really, really important for you here. Getting movement, going for a walk every day, getting outside. It could be as simple as that, but there's real movement here that's going to help alleviate some of this and help catalyze this change for you. With the Three of Pentacles, I also think that there's an opportunity to connect with different people too. Like there's real community out there for you that's going to help you finally alleviate this heartbreak energy, right? So who can you find in your life that is like-minded, who is where you want to be? If you have an idea of where you're trying to get to here, of what kind of person you want to be, of what kind of life you want for yourself, and you see other people who are embodying that, this might be an opportunity to talk to those people more, to connect with those people, to try to build a community with this sort of thing and connect in more to that energy. Because the more that you try to do that, the more that you'll start to feel more connected, more open, more alleviated towards your depressive energy, and feeling more like you can actually do stuff. You can actually be someone. You can actually connect in more. So I really do highly recommend that. I really do. Connect with other people. Find other people who are, where you want to be, and maybe they'll help you get there more. They'll help you break out of this a little bit, and maybe moving to a new place and connecting with new people will also help you a little bit here and become something different, become more connected to your own inner peace and sanctum and inner light and inner love. So anyway, pile number Who are you? Pile number 5. That's it for me. I hope that this reading resonates. Let me know what you think in the comments. I love hearing from everybody. Please, if you're getting to this point and you have the capability and you can leave a comment, I would love it if you could. It would be so helpful to me. I've been having a real hard time connecting to the algorithms lately, so I kind of need all the help I can get. So even if you just type pile number 5, like, that's helpful for me. And, I'll like it and I'll comment back and we can share hearts. Even if it's just sharing a heart, share me an emoji. How are you feeling today? What emoji are you feeling? What emoji did this reading make you feel? Share your emoji with me. I'll share it back. Give this video a like too. Really helpful for the engagement. I'm really trying to grow this channel. I'm giving myself some time and dedication to really make it happen. I know I haven't been the best at posting content, and that's my fault, but I really want to make this work. So I'm gonna keep at it. I'm gonna keep at it until I get where I need to go. So I'm happy you're on this journey with me. Thanks to all my lovely longtime listeners. If you're new, please do subscribe. It helps out. And I will catch you all later. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye.